All right, welcome to Friday and Blue Collar Coder. By a curious coincidence, come here, Mimi. Come on. My dog is here today to say hi. Say hi to Mimi. Or say hi, Mimi. She's around. Turns out, my wife is on a walk and whatever. But yeah, usually she's not around, but it's always fun. All right. So, Expando Forms. Hope you guys had some fun with the video. I had fun making it. So, do we have any ideas for topics that we want to, like, it was SpaceX in the video. Could be anything we want, really. And also, any kind of UI toolkit we want is fine. If we want to do, like, material as opposed to, shards, whatever. We can certainly do all that. Let's start this off. So I will just, say Expando Form or something like that to get us going. Wait, no, hold on. Let's do a Create React app. Any good plans for the weekend? It's actually my birthday tomorrow, so that would be part of my plan for the weekend, I guess. So have some fun with that. Kind of weird having a birthday during a pandemic, but I guess that's been the case for probably half of the population so far. So, yeah. So let's see what else. Oh, hey, cool news. I don't know if you've heard of Brad Traversy, but he offered to host a video of mine. So I'm going to be working on a real-time chat using GraphQL subscriptions. It's kind of like what we did before, but instead of using URQL, using Apollo, and then federating that, so you actually can like share it around to different sites and stuff. So pretty cool, but pretty fun, that one. And then actually another viewer recommended XState in the last live stream. So that'll be next week's video. And that, I gotta say, that has been really cool. I was kind of a skeptic early on about state machines. I mean, there's certainly like times I use them. It's my birthday tomorrow. Kind of a skeptic around state machines and UI. I mean, unless it's like an incredibly complicated form, but they've got this visualizer that's just like crazy cool. So, happy about that. Yeah. Birthday tomorrow. Super cool. Pandemic birthday. I don't know what that means, but we'll give it a go. So, what are we thinking for topics? The topic was SpaceX launches. Before we can do anything we want. Thank you. And I don't know. Let's see. How about maybe cooking ingredients? There we go. Hey, there we go. Birthday cake baking ingredients. How about that? So we have our Create React app. Since nobody's piped up and in, let's use shards and React hook form. So add shards React and React hook form. Boy, the more that I use React hook form, the more I like it, honestly. It's really a nice library. Really nice. I was kind of surprised, like how easy this was, because Expando forms are always a pain in the butt, honestly. Like not only do you have to deal with it like on the new card or new record creation side, but then you got to deal with it when you bring in data and what have you changed, what have you updated. Just always a pain in the butt. Okay. So we're paring down our Create React app. How is that all in the header? Yeah, whatever. And let's make it a little bit easier to see. Bring it in a little bit. Tighten up the margin or center it. Tighten up the margin. Okay. So what we were doing? We were creating a form. So yeah. It's funny. I've been so hard at work on like the XState video as another thing, and then also the one for Brad Traversy that I didn't get a chance to re-practice this, but I did it like 4 or 5 times early on, so I got a pretty decent idea what to do with it. Okay, So we want a, yeah, we'll turn this into a form eventually, but we'll start off with it. Okay, so register that. We're going to get a register. We're going to get a errors. We're going to get a handle submit. And from use form, which is going to, why this isn't the default, I have no idea. You know, I guess maybe it's the standard that everybody validates forms just on submit. But if I'm going to make an error, I want to know early on. Yeah, it's just because I'm an engineer. All right, React hook form. So we're just going to load in React hook form, and they're bringing in something from shards, probably some form controls, React shards, React, and let's see, certainly a button, and then all the layout stuff, so container, row, and column, and then there's a bunch of input stuff in there. Input group add-on. I'm actually getting to know this stuff. Input group add-on, input group text. Material UI is so big, kind of, yeah. It takes a while to reprocess everything, and it's nice to have a lightweight library. Okay, so we'll container all that, make that a container. That's fine, I guess. And let's make ourselves our first kind of static value. Not static, but a singleton field. I don't call that. The recipe, right? And so this is gonna be cake, and then I guess no, it's ingredients, right? You have ingredients, and then you have steps. We could do both. Why not? Let's see if we can abstract that. That'd be even cooler. Ingredients and steps. That'd be neat. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Let's like make a high order component out of this thing when we make it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is basically create a form control that we can clone a bunch of times into. Oh, thank you. I like making them, so just keep watching them. It's good. In-group add-on, in-group group text, and also, of course, feel free to add any suggestions you've got for things you want to see covered. It's one of those. I'm pretty much on the head end. I mean, I've got next week's video. I've got the code for that. And then I've got the Brad Traversy video that I'm working on. But beyond that, I'm still open for new ideas for other things. So form, input. And we want a placeholder in there. That's going to be the recipe name. And then we're going to let create, what is it? React hook form do a lot of the work for us. So we're going to say required true, and it will do that if we give it a name. Got to connect it to the name. So the name in this case is recipe. Is there anything else? Probably, well, let's see. Let's give it a go here. So, am I started? No, I'm not started. So let's start that up. Watch it probably fail like right away. It's like one of those things, how far out in the bridge do you want to get? Hey, it worked. Okay, cool. Oh, I know what it is. It's like prepend or something like that. Type equals prepend. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what that does. Okay. Prepend takes it and makes it square on one side. It's actually very nice. Okay, so if I take that off, it's not doing that because I forgot the invalid part. It's also something you want to make sure of. So errors, recipe. Let's try that one again. Yeah, looking good. Okay, so that's our one-off. That's our name for the recipe. And now we need an Expando field of all of the ingredients, right? We need the ingredients. I guess we need the measures. So that's a cool little example there. So, okay, so how are we going to do this? So let's go make one first. This is kind of the way I did in the video. I created one. We'll give ourselves some space. I don't know how font sizes are for you guys. I mean, this is really big for me. But, I mean, I get that, people have it on YouTube and it's small and all that. So we're going to want a row that has a column that's probably small. Extra small, well, just for small, would be maybe 3. So 3 out of 12. So about a quarter of it for the type or the amount, I guess. And then let's see. On testing React components. Oh yeah, absolutely. I played around with Cypress. Oh my god, that was so much fun. Cypress is amazing. Okay, so I got ingredients. Let's go and drop one in here just for giggles. So we're gonna say amount is 1 tablespoon of baking soda. That would probably be what that is. I'm actually a baker, so I know this stuff. That's about right. I mean, maybe that's a bit much, but yeah. Okay, so 1 tablespoon of baking soda, and so in order to get that going, we're gonna need to say that we're on ingredients, and it's nice. It gives you like that kind of ingredients 0 dot amount. And here's the trick, though. Yeah, so this is going to work just fine every time. But this one is not going to work because sometimes ingredients will be there on recipe and on errors, and sometimes it won't. So what we need to do first is go check to make sure it's there. So do we have errors ingredients? And then if we do we also have error ingredients 0? And then we'll take we'll turn that into a Boolean on the amount. Otherwise, we get some janky stuff in there. Complains a lot. Okay, so that's the amount, and I'll get rid of this because this is and this is closer to what I need anyway. So we need another column with 9 across. So 9 out of 12 would be 3/4 with the ingredient, the baking soda in this case. So what do we call it? We call it name. Ugh. How about ingredient? Name's a little generic. Okay. Ingredients. It's true. Okay. And I'll call that ingredient. Hey, okay. So that's good. So we've got an amount, and then we've got an ingredient. I'm not super keen on all that jazz around them, so I'm just going to get rid of that. That's kind of much, I think. Much over muchness. Okay. Yeah, that's cleaner. And maybe then a little padding on the top. Or padding on, or margin on the top. Move it down, bump it down a little bit. All right. That looks good. And then can I, yep, that's good. Got validation working on that. Cool. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to be able to add one. So we need a button to add a new ingredient. And you're like, that's not going to work. I know it's not going to work. Add ingredient. Nice hinting there. Thank you. And let's see, on click is add an ingredient. Ingredient. If I can spell, that'd be great. Okay. Let's go over here. So testing, huh? I don't know about testing. So what in particular trips you up when it comes to UI testing? Is there anything like I should focus in on? Okay, so now we need that list of IDs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to refactor this a little bit. I'm going to call this like starting state or something. Starting state. I'm going to drop that in here for default values. And then I'm going to go create my keys, my IDs, ingredient IDs. I'm going to regret this when I refactor this. Ingredient ID set, I guess. It's terrible. All right. And then react.useState. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to do just the object keys from this array. So starting state dot ingredients. And I kind of went into this in some detail in the video about how like object.keys, like on an array, it does interesting things. So let's actually go over that too. Go over my console that always has all kinds of fun stuff in it. Okay, and I'm going to do object keys on, well, yeah, look at that, all the way from the video. So on ABC is an array, gives you just the indices. And then if I were to do it, so this is very nice. It's nice symmetrical behavior in the language that like you also get like A is true, B is false, and that would give you the keys of A and B, right? So you can start symmetrically looking at both arrays and objects, essentially using the same features. So that's kind of nice. So I'm going to use that to basically pre-populate this ingredient IDs, which I'm then going to go and wrap this row in as a map. And that'll give me an ID. And with that, I'm going to do what I never do, and that's like set the key first. Come on, Jack. Right after you do this, set the key, set the key, set the key. So you don't get the key error. You don't get that key error. All right, I'm going to do that right now so I don't forget. I always forget. Key equals ID. Yes. You thought you had me, React, but you didn't. Okay. And then I'm going to make that. I'm sorry you guys are hearing my dog. She's cute, though. She makes up for it with her barking. It's okay, Mimi. And then I'm going to pull out that ID and put it into each one of the areas I need it. So we have an ID there. These ones are a little easier since they're not in a string. Same thing with this. Look at me messing that up. Okay. ID. All right, cool. And then one more time. And just to make sure this actually works, let's go and add on yet another ingredient. Let's see. How about a teaspoon of salt? This is a yummy thing so far. You know what? How about a cup of cake flour? There we go. That starts sounding more like a cake. All right, great, cool, nice. So you got a tablespoon of baking soda, cup of cake flour, and now I need to be able to add an ingredient. So how do I do that? Well, I go over here to add ingredients, and then I'm going to go just add on to set. And that's a kind of an interesting thing. I'd love your take on this. There was an interesting like little Twitter thing about like, how do you, for this, like, what do you use? Do you use like foo? I was going to have that. Do you say set foo, right? Or do you say foo set or something else? I tend to use foo set now because when I want to change it, I just do that. I just extend selection, and now it's like XYZ set, right? And the big difference being that if I did set foo, which is what I used to do, now I've got like lower and upper case problems, so that's just that. It is a little weird to read it though. Okay, so we're gonna do ingredient IDs set, and then we're just gonna take whatever the ingredient ID's length was and then add one. And that's it, right? And if we want, we can just go and, I don't know, we can like put a little thing down here so you can see what that array is looking like over time. Let's put that in a div. But, it's just going to be 0, 1, 2, all that. Let's make it easy to read. Join it. Okay. Ba-boom. Ba-boomba. I know. Okay. You're right. I can't join a function. That is true. Okay. So 0, 1. So that's giving us that. And I add an ingredient, and now I've got 0, 1, 3. That's okay. Because what we're going to do, Command-Shift-P. You mean when it comes like the setting? Okay. Nice. I love live streams for this. You are amazing. Okay. And you know what? Having done this now, I now understand why there was a weird thing in the video. So let's go and just make it length. All right. There you go. It's cool. All right. So that's nice, right? We've got that. And we've also got invalidation and all that. So when we're going to put a submit handler here, it's not going to allow us to be done until everything is valid. All right. So let's try your thing. Okay. So I'm going to go and do, let's say foo, and then set foo. And I'm going to go and change to bar. Okay, sorry. Change to lowercase bar, and then you're gonna say Command-Shift-P. What is it? Control-Shift, Command-Shift-P would help there. Okay. For me, P brings up the preferences, like the command panel. All right, so we'll keep working on that. Command palette. There you go. Oh, and then do transformed. Oh, okay. It's not bound to a key, is what you're saying. Okay, Baz, and then transform to camel case. I don't have that. That's interesting. Do I have anything with camel in it? No. You have like an extension that does camel case? Uppercase? Okay. That works. Yeah, if I had a transform to camel case, it's probably like an extension, right? I wouldn't mind that. Okay, so we've got our thing, and now we're adding. Let's go and create a deleter on here. That makes me think that I screwed up because I didn't account for that, but that's okay. Everybody makes mistakes. So we're going to create another column that's got a button on it for delete, because you always need one of those. And then a button for delete. And we're just going to say on click. Then we're going to delete, on delete, on delay. Oh, wow. I love when it like hints out some, what was that? On device orientation changed? Yes. I definitely need that just rapidly auto completing, because the number of times that I've written out that piece of code. Okay. Const delete. And that's giving me basically an index. So there's a bunch of different ways I could do this. I use the filter in the video, but you could do splice if you want to pull it out that way too. Filter I, and then I is not equal to index. Just, pretty clean, I would say. As these things go. Okay, so I add some ingredients. We'll delete it. Yeah, looking good. Looking good in the neighborhood. Nice. So let's just make sure that the data is good. So I wanted to be able to handle that, like the handle submit stuff. Let me mute for a second so I can get some water. It's starting to dry up. Hey, no worries, man. I love it. It's all good. You just keep going. I'm enjoying it. It's all good. I learned something new already by the transform stuff. It's good. Okay. So let's use that handle submit. Form on submit. Yeah. Is handle submit. And let's see, we need a submit handler on submit. Sounds about right. And let's see down here. Oh, we also need a button, right? Button. Who's got the button? So let's go and wrap that guy in a div. So we give him a little space because he's kind of crunched up there anyway. Whoa. Okay. I am such a bad typist, guys. It's crazy how bad I am. I don't know how I'm this bad of a typist after typing for this many years. It's something, there's just something weirdly in my brain. Okay, so we need a type equals submit on that one. No, I guess submit recipe, I guess. Why do I put yeah. It doesn't need to have an exclamation point. Now everything needs to be on submit. Okay. Submit recipe. Okay, and then your data. Let's see, console.log data. Blah, blah, blah. Look at that. I don't even know what language that was. Okay. Let's go back over here. Wow, they look exactly the same, which is probably not great UI, but let's go and add a few things in there. Again, with React Hook Form, I could easily put a nice regex in there. I'm not sure what that regex would look like in this case, because there's about 1 billion different ways to write an ingredient, but whatever. And let's see. Oh, wow, that's actually quite nice. So let's now go and delete one and see what happens. Submit recipe, and I'm guessing, yeah, we'll get yeah. And that's, so we got 0, 2, and 3 is our indices. It's in this weird state where it's still an array, but it's like a sparse array kind of thing. So what we really need is this where it's the original data, and then we grab ingredients, and we just do object.values ingredients, and that would pull out all of the ones that don't exist in data.ingredients. Okay, let's try that one more time. Add an ingredient with some stuff, delete one, submit it, and yeah, looking good. All right, so there you go. There's an Expando form. And we can go either one or two ways with this. We can go either into the open close case, or like open a new record or take an existing record. Both of those are fun. But let's go with a higher order component, because that would be confusing and weird. And I like confusing and weird in videos. It puts me on edge. So we're going to abstract this guy, and we'll call it, I guess, an Expando form. Hey, Miss Mimis. Expando list, I guess. And what would we want? We want, okay, I see. So we need the key, right? And the key would be like ingredients. And then we're going to return a new React component that takes a state, I guess. Yeah, we'll have to work that a little bit. And we're going to grab most of this, because most of this is dedicated to this. Oh, it's going to take register and a bunch of that for sure, because it needs to do that. So you guys all get what I'm doing. I'm going to have another section in this called like steps, because every recipe has at least ingredients and steps. It's not real nice to give somebody a recipe that's just ingredients. Do I have anything wrong here? Function expando list. Yeah, that's not quite right. Yeah, that looks better. Okay. It's not great to start off my HOC by not having like basic stuff done. Okay, so here we go. So, but that's okay. We'll just deal with the ingredients stuff for the moment. We'll just replace out anything ingredients. Well, on this side of it with a key. And I needed to integrate into my existing thing, so I'm just going to make the wrapper just what do we even call this? Okay, so I need everything down to like add ingredient. There you go. Oh, poor Miss Mimi. Okay, so let's see. Got the ingredients, and this is going to be key. That's going to be key. Okay, this is going to be key. This is going to be cool. Ingredient key. Key. Okay, well, depends on how crazy you want to go with this. Obviously, like a really good HOC for this you'd need to give it like a pattern for how the forms are supposed to be laid out and all that. But that's a little nutty. Well, we'll see when we get there. I'm a little, I don't know about that. Okay, so we got an Expando list here. We're just going to try this. And how far do we want to go with this? Let's just pull out this section and worry about the rest of that in the meantime. And we put that in there as ingredient list. And then ingredient list equals, wow, okay. Expando list of ingredient. Yeah, that's not a great name for it, right? So let's make this like create Expando list. And you know what? I'm gonna make it so you have to say that, because otherwise, like it's a pretty crappy API. So create Expando list with ingredients. Yeah, let's give it a try. Woof, starting state is not defined, register is not defined, errors is not defined. Okay, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so errors is errors. And what was the other one? Register is register. And then I guess we got to pass in Yeah, the starting state. Yeah. Okay. Equals starting state. That's not great, but whatever. We can clean that up. I'm curious now. I just want to see this work. So one, we don't need on submit. That's one thing. And then this is going to take, it's going to take state. It's going to take register and errors. And over here, that was the thing. Starting state key. Oh my God. Holy. Wow, that worked? That's craziness. Okay, wow. All right. So let's see. If we wanted to go and make theoretically, let's go change out this guy so we don't have a lot of stuff laying around. Okay, we don't need that or that. And that's cool. But if we want to have steps too, now what we're saying is, well, I have this step. Okay, we're going to just say we have an amount of a step. And it's like 1 or something. And then we've got the what to do, I guess the instruction? Yeah, I don't know. Put in a bowl. Put dry ingredients in a bowl. In a bowl. Probably preheat oven would be not bowel. Sorry about that. And we'll call, whoops, hey now. Hey now, you're an all-star. Okay, so that's a steps list. And the key is now steps. And let's go down there. This will be interesting. And let's just bring that one in and call it steps list. Oh, that is cool. Okay, but the key is wrong. So the keys would need to be, it needs to be ingredient, which is not great. But yeah, that is neat, right? So now we've got a higher order component to go and build Expando lists. Cool. That is kind of neat. All right. I mean, there's obviously, variable naming issues and all that. But you got to admit, that's pretty neat. All right. Let's go do the new and open case. And then maybe clean this up, and I'll maybe post it on GitHub. And you guys can have at it and play with it and all that. Okay, so we're going to rename this to form. Recipe form, not something like that. And then we'll have an app back here, new thing called app. And it's just going to return a recipe form. And then we're going to go grab, let's see, this starting state stuff. Okay. We're not going to default that to anything. And we're going to go over here and create, I don't know, starting state. And starting state set. Use state. Drop that in there. Cool. And starting state, let's just, put that in there and make sure it still works. Looks good. Put set oven to 350. Just make sure. Good. Looking good. Okay, so that's working. And now we need a little bit of UI to toggle whether we're opening or closing something. Obviously, in real life, IRL, these would be two different routes or, whatever your UI requirements are. Let's go make a div. Somebody had on Twitter a couple days ago was like, oh no, it was me. I was looking around on, oh God, I think it was Twitter. I was looking to see if I could find out the URL of a GIF or something like that. Because I really like this Jason Momoa GIF. And I didn't know that it was Jason Momoa. It's one where he takes the chair and kind of flicks it out. And it's hilarious. And I wanted to find it because I wanted to use it. And so I started going through the Twitter HTML, and it was just oh my God, a raft of 20 nested divs. I'm like, seriously? Come on. How many divs do you need for a single post? Okay, so padding, we don't need that. We need to display it in a grid though. We're on a grid of buttons. So let's do that. Grid, template columns. Grid or Flexbox? Question of the day. I love grid. I shouldn't say that. Okay. Let's see, 5 at 20%. And because I was using Flexbox actually for the chat example. So I still use one or the other. So let's see. So this is a load existing, I guess. Oh no, so create new. Probably better names than what I put in the original video. And load existing. And I don't remember. I think it was like a success or something, or I don't know. Type equals success, something like that. Let's just see. Okay, well, whatever. They're fine. I mean, I like to have different colors and stuff, but you know, can't have everything in life. Okay, onClick equals, and in this case, we're just going to go and set that initial data, set that starting set to pretty much nothing, right? You know, so let's see, we got that. We basically, yeah, it's recipe ingredients cake. I can type that out. Recipe is blank, and steps is nothing, and ingredients is nothing. And then if I do, so this is create new. Yeah, that makes sense. And then if I do load existing, let's do that one too. This is not great. I mean, you know, whatever. Okay, cool. So now theoretically, we should be able to hit create new or load existing, and they should do something, but they don't. And the reason is that use form is stateful, right? It actually is obviously holding a bunch of state and everything, and React is saying, well, hey, you know, I'm not going to do a deep compare on whatever starting state is. I'm just going to go and assume that it's pretty much the same thing. So, you're going to get the same thing. You're going to get the same component. It's not going to rebuild it. So what we need to do is we need to basically force React to rebuild that component instance. So the way you can do that really on the cheap is you can say I used key, which might be confusing. So something like, you know, unique ID or something like that, and set unique ID. And let's start on React to use state again. Start off at 1. And then we'll go over here. We'll just use that for key. And key used outside of a list still works, turns out. So what you can do is you can just bump that to unique ID plus 1. Or whatever. I mean, you can set to math rand. Anything that's unique, right? Keys are very flexible that way. And now, like if I hit create new, I have a new recipe, totally new, because that's going to regenerate a whole new instance of that form. If I do load existing, then again, because I've now bumped that key is then going to force React to view it as a different object entirely because of a different key. And so now I get a new key. All right. So, you know, let's go clean this up a little bit. And now they kind of put that, like, so now we've gone through the whole example. We made this cool HOC, but we can make this HOC even a little cooler, I would say, by giving it some more genericity, if that's a word, ingredient. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about, name. And we'll use that wherever we need a human name for it, ingredient. And step, I guess. I'm guessing that would be the singular name. So we'll use that for not delete, but add ingredient there. Add name. And is there anything else? I guess, put it in there. Kind of lame. Okay, so that's cool. Now we got add ingredient and add step. That's a little bit more generic. And then these IDs are obviously a problem. So we'll just make that IDs. Does that make sense? ID. How about ID list? That seems better. And it seems to work. Seems to like it. So that's a plus. And now I'd say the only... How are we going to do this? Yeah, you know what? I mean, all of this, right? From here to here, we can make that be like a component, like an instantiator. Does that make... Oh, God. I'm going to give it a go, and we're going to see. That's the great thing about doing stuff like this is, hey, you know, if it works, it works. Doesn't, it doesn't. So this would be our ingredient item. All right, yeah, ingredient row. How about that? Yeah, and that would take in... We take a list and then an ID, right? Okay, cool. I'm feeling this. This could work. Let's see. So we have a list, and what is that? No, I don't need that, do I? All I need is the ID and the key. I probably don't even need the key, but I'll take it. And then I guess errors, and also, you know, also need to pass down errors and register. I think this might work. Okay. So that's going to be our row component. All right. And then down in here, wow, could be row component. ID is ID. And bring in a bunch of the stuff that we use for the other stuff as well. Register and errors. And just for the time being, let's still use the same for both of these. But ideally, wow, this could be neat. Unexpected use of name. What the heck is that? Line 30, unexpected use of name. Oh, fair enough. Okay. Well, I don't know I need that anymore because I know my context ingredient. Okay. Whoo. Wow, guys, you're seeing some stuff. Okay. All right, then we need a step row that basically is this. Oh, this is so neat. Wow. I was going to show you the XState stuff because I think that's cool, but I think this is almost this is as cool. Okay, for the steps, we only need one, right? So we only need... Oh, and we can make it dynamic too. How about that? So that's going to come across at 11. We'll call this a step. We really don't... Actually, we don't even need this key anymore, honestly, because we could just hard code that into the step row. And let's do that. Oh, that is cool. Okay, and then we can call that a step now. We don't need to call it an ingredient anymore. And where would that be? That would now live down in here. Actually, ooh, that's interesting. Well, I'm gonna keep it. I mean, you can imagine like one where it's just like, you know, if there's only one item, blah 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 blah. I'm okay with this. That's cool. You don't need to do this, but I'm cool with it. All right, let's take a look. And it's not working. Did I get it wrong? Step. And go over here. Step. And no, that's wrong. Wow. It's close though. Real close. I'm fascinated by it. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. That's not gonna work. I still have to pass it through. Oh, ha! That's funny. Okay. Oh, load existing maybe? No. Oh, wow. Nothing is working. Okay. So why is that? Key. Oh, I didn't. Did I pass it? Did I fail to pass in a key? Yeah, I failed to pass in the key. That makes sense. And oh, key is not a prop. Fair enough. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Oh, right, because this is in HOC. That's why it's valid. You know what? I don't need it anyway. Sorry about that. Because what I really want is, now I know what I am. ingredients, and I can put in there ingredients. This is not awesome looking, but whatever. And then this is steps. So I don't need the key. And steps. Hey, would you guys like to see more in TypeScript? Oh, look at that. Would you guys like to see more in TypeScript, just out of curiosity? I'm doing a lot of TypeScript for the dashboard because it's more of an enterprise app. And like syntax like this gets a whole lot nicer in TypeScript. In TypeScript, this is just errors.ingredients question mark dot ID, dot ingredient, like that. And that's coming out. That's in like ES 2021 or whatever. So it's going to be in JavaScript, but it's right now in TypeScript, which is cool. Wow. Okay. Look at this. Boy, you come to a live stream and you get like a full-on HOC that you could open source for building Expando lists in React Hook form. Cool. All right. Well, before I go, so I did want to like give you guys a sneak peek at the XState thing, since I think it is just so neat. I really was kind of, and it's from a viewer suggestion, so it's really fun. But this is going to be what next week's video is going to be on. So let's go over and take a look. What XState something, right? XState. Yes, that's it. Okay. React Hook form plus XState equals awesome. I should make that like the title of the video, some sort of clickbaity thing. React Hook form plus XState equals best thing ever. You'll never need another form manager once you got XState. No, it's not true, but I love videos with title. Love is not the right word. Title videos that have like learn JavaScript in 5 minutes. That's happening. Yes. Okay, so here's the idea. You've got a pizza form, and well, it's a pizza process, right? And you got to start off by defining what kind of pizza you want. So we'll say, I don't know, Hawaiian. Is that yeah, Hawaii? I don't know. Whatever. No. Okay, no. How about a? I can't spell Hawaiian. How about a cheese pizza? I can spell that. Okay, and we'll get some toppings, and we'll say that we want sausage on our cheese pizza, and then we'll go to address, and it'll say it's my house at blah 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 blah, whatever, Smith Street, and then we go for baking, and you can see that now we've got a status of baking, and my baking count is automatically incrementing. And you're like, oh, well, okay, that's cool, I guess. But here's what's really cool. It's actually all based on this state machine, right? And you've got a context in here that sets up basically the starting state of your state machine, and they got all these states, and you can move from state to state. You can cycle within a state. For example, like the next state on from setting the type of pizza is setting the toppings of the pizza. But you also need to go and update the type. So that's another kind of mini state that kind of loops back onto itself. But it's really cool. So I can go and take this whole thing, which is just completely, it's not bound to any UI, or you could use this in a CLI. You could use this in a web service. You could use this in whatever context is running JavaScript. It's basically everything nowadays. And let's go look at XState Visualizer. Yeah, let's not look at my Xfinity bill. That would be bad. Okay, so the technology we are using, thanks to a viewer recommendation, just like you, is XState. And I can go over here and I can drop in my new pizza state machine, and you can actually simulate it, right? So here's the initial type. It's in setting the type of the pizza. mode, and I can literally simulate, oh, okay, I'm going to click on next. I'm going to go to the next state, would be set toppings, and then go in to set an address. And oh, this is so cool. I'm going to go check this out. It actually like runs the state machine, which is running a little timer, right? That's actually like pinging like that start baking event or that a sign on the tick to increment that value. And we can go over here to state, and we can see that actually live updating on the fly. Baking count 22, 23, 24. We can even see the events coming through. So it's just really nice. And I was kind of thinking about like, are there, yeah, it does? Oh, nice. Awesome. Oh, you need the Babel plugin for XState or Babel plugin for, but I'm super jazzed. I'm glad that you folks have seen this before. I hope, I don't know, haven't seen any videos on it, so I'm hoping that, you know, it's a unique video. But I'm really excited about this. I don't know if I'd use it all the time, but I really think it's really nice, and the ability to have this kind of thing just completely devoid of any view framework or anything like that, I think is incredibly appealing to be able to look at it and also be able to kind of roll it into any like a CLI system, you know, where you've got some sort of data processing or something. It's not normally something I think of when I think of state management, a state machine. I mean, unless it's something like a language parsing would be one that I would normally think about it, or games, like, you know, or kind of business logic flow, you know, whether you have certain states or extremely complex forms, which of course this pizza one is not, but you know, it's kind of hard to put an incredibly complex form into a video and also explain XState at the same time and have it be under like 1 billion, you know, hours. Oh, optional chaining. Yes, I could have used it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I can bring it in as a Babel plugin. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I hope you guys had a great time. I had a lot of fun with this. Of course, be sure to click, you know, like if you liked it, and click. Yeah, I'm probably sure you folks are all subscribed. Keep an eye out for a new video on Brad Traversy's channel coming out. I'm gonna be doing some cool stuff around GraphQL subscriptions and Apollo client, and then federating that as a module. That's really cool. YouTube Live wants to show any timestamps. Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. All right. Well, have a great weekend. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. Thank you for getting me to make a cake. Thank you for this really cool thing. I will put it up on GitHub so you guys can play around with that. Feel free to open source it. I don't care. It's fun. It's at Friday. You know, enjoy. And I will see you next time. Bye. See you next Friday.